Good evening, and welcome to this month's small group handbells. Uh, it's an interesting one that was chosen by our congregation. They were interested in hearing about the handbells, something our church doesn't have exactly. However, if we look real deep, we can actually see some origins in our church. So we'll go ahead and start with handbells. Handbells, obviously, a very nice way to celebrate and add music to our services and to enjoy. We hear them a lot Christmas time, and you'll see some of the Christmas songs played with the handbells. So it's kind of a nice way to continue a new type of ministry, sharing songs and joy and the enjoyment of just listening to the handbells. But let's go into it a little bit deeper, as we always do. Chuck Knows Church just did a nice presentation on it. Um, Chuck might need a little more practice, but he did a nice job on explaining the history of handbells and how they started. So we'll continue on with a little bit of that, and we're going to do something a little bit different. That's going to take up some of the time of this month's small group, and that's the appreciation of handbells. Handbell history, Chuck went into some of that, traced back to the 5th century BC in China, but also found throughout the world. Different countries. The bells were various shapes and sizes, as we'll talk about here, which I thought was very interesting, the whole size thing as far as the bells go. Most of the bells that came over into Europe and the United States had their history from England. Obviously, it started back in China. They had, however, a lot of these bells came from England. Again, a lot of different sizes they were brought over. When they were brought over to the United States, they were definitely handbells. But the history goes back even a little bit further than handbells themselves into just the bells and the use of them to make music through church services and otherwise. The English bells started in the 16th century. Again, these are the ones that came over to America, or credited from coming over to America after a set was given to an American and brought over. But the English bells actually started out in the 16th century as tower bells. Now, try to picture this, and this is where our history in our church comes into play. A lot of churches have the bells that they ring. Our children love doing that. They have incredible memories because just as soon as they get into church, it's, hey, let's ring the bells. It's time to ring the bells. Is it time to ring the bells yet? If I could only do that with trash day, I'd be set. So they come in and they ring the bells. They pull the string down and you can hear the nice bell sound outside. Imagine more than one bell in your church, to the point where you're ringing bells in different timing to have a song or have a melody play. I can't imagine how hard that could be, trying to get a song or certain sounds to come out of bells by just pulling a string with this huge bell on top of a church. So I'm sure it took a lot of practice, a lot of energy, and a lot of coordination to be able to get that to happen. Think about it too from a singing point of view. Choir has a choir director leading them, getting all the notes right. Imagine somebody trying to do that with bells. Pull the rope right now. I just can't imagine how hard that would be. Along with a lot of practice, it unfortunately caused a lot of noise. Now, thankfully, we've never gotten any issues at 9:30 in the morning on Sunday ringing the bell. However, they did, because obviously with a lot of practice, that took a lot of time, and constantly hearing bells apparently got disruptive. So after a while, tower bells were rung with the ropes, and it got disturbing to some of the folks that lived in the area. Due to that disturbance, the English bells were transformed into handbells, something that was a lot smaller. The same concept could be done where you could coordinate the ringing of the bells to make music. However, they were done in a lot less distracting way so the public didn't get disturbed and upset by that. These bells were obviously a lot easier to manage, and they actually kind of became their own thing. Not that the tower bell went away, but the handbells were a whole distinct new type of sound and discipline. The enthusiasm definitely increased after this, because obviously you didn't have to worry about people getting upset with the noise. However, in the beginning of the 1900s, it did start to decline a little bit, the use of the handbells, especially in America. However, it did pick up after World War II, um, with celebrations and so forth. And some of the churches today, I thought were interesting. That we did a little research on who's using them today and who has handbell choirs. First United Methodist Church of Pine Mountain in Georgia has a pretty popular one. Forest Heights United Methodist in Texas. Seymour Lake United Methodist in Michigan. So there's 3 churches across the country that have that, but we also have 3 right here in New Jersey, and there probably is more, but these were 3 that I found. One was Franklin Lake United Methodist Church. This seems to be the most, I won't say popular, but there's most information about this, and apparently they're well known for this. In fact, one of our, the pastor from that church, on her post through the United Methodist Church has that they're well known for that. So Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, Wayne, up north again. But we also have one, and shares our name, Trinity United Methodist Church in Clayton has a handbell choir. So just because this happened back in 5 BC with the original handbells, or at least we can trace it back at least that far, it's still alive and well today. And it does sound really cool to listen to these folks when they're playing the bells. Again, you take your favorite hymn, your favorite Christmas song, or even, as we'll show, even more popular songs. You can get out there and play with these bells, and it sounds really, really nice. Again, another way to minister and to have a ministry out there to God so that people can hear and enjoy the music. Here's where we're going to change it up a little bit this time. We're going to change it where this is the time where we, in small group, appreciate the handbells. I have some songs that I found online that will give you the links if you're watching this on Facebook, where you can listen to some of these different songs with handbells and different handbell choirs playing them. And just sit and listen and enjoy it. It's really cool to, again, listen to the different songs, listen to different choirs, and on top of that, look a little bit deeper and actually look at the people and how much effort they give. And how much, training and coordination and practice it takes to be able to do this. But they do it and make it look easy, because I'm sure they've been practicing for quite some time. A couple of songs we found, obviously, Amazing Grace, a well-known song in church. Oh Holy Night, to go with our Christmas, different Christmas songs, which you think of with handbells. You Raise Me Up, that's a little bit more contemporary one that Josh Groban sings. Very nice, very energetic, very positive church/other songs. It's kind of a versatile song. And of course, there are some popular songs out there. Eye of the Tiger from Rocky. You can play that, and Let It Go from Frozen. So there's a lot of different songs that can be played, not just church ones, but obviously that's ones we're looking at in the small group. But there's a variety of them. Think about it. Handbells again, back 5th century China, BC. And now we're playing a hit Disney movie with the same concept of bells. It's pretty cool, I thought. Alright, some of the resources we used, history of the handbells, handbells used in churches and what churches use them, and all the songs we found on YouTube just by doing a search with handbell choirs and the different songs. Next month's topic is going to be the Book of Common Prayer. We're also going to have one more, and then I believe it's the last one that we had just done, where we took a poll of ones that we haven't seen, and that was the last one, should be in November, which will celebrate our year of doing this. Small group, that is. And that one, we're probably going to be doing worship in November, just because I'm going to be taking a class in that too. I figure that might add to it as well. So next month, Book of Common Prayer. And again, if you can't make it out, we definitely would love to see you and have a nice conversation after we get done with the topic. But you can also join us on Facebook as always. All right. Hope you enjoyed this, and take some time now to get on those links and listen to the handbells and watch how well they perform their magic. Thank you.